What we like, first and foremost, the torque we pull of the twin-turbo 3.3-liter V6 and the smooth shifting 8-speed automatic. Virtually every comment in the logbook references the powertrain's versatility, one editor describing its demeanor as docile when not provoked, but a rocket ship when pushed. The quiet interior features near-perfect fit and finish, and aside from one driver who couldn't find a comfortable setting for the lumbar support, the 22-way adjustable seat provides enough adaptability for drivers of any size to get comfortable. Taller staffers who generally loathe sunroofs for their headroom-consuming properties have been pleasantly surprised by the noggin space in the G90. It's worth mentioning that our observed fuel economy has remained 23 miles per gallon, not too shabby for a big beast piloted by a staff of lead-footed drivers. What we don't like, lots of commenters have noted tire slap over expansion joints and unfiltered impacts from broken highway pavement. Additionally, body motions, particularly rebound, are not as controlled as in most of the G90's competitors. While neither is severe enough to be a deal breaker, some have wondered how these aspects of suspension tuning seemed to escape the final development process in a vehicle otherwise so polished. Another small complaint is the inconsistency of some of the exterior panel gaps. While the alignment is generally straight, the width of the gap can vary from location to location. For instance, the gap in the junction, where the passenger side A-pillar meets the door, is significantly smaller than the adjacent spaces between the door, hood, and front fender. What went wrong? Not much. Within a month of the car's arrival, a small divot appeared in the windshield just left of the driver's sightline, so we had a local glass company come out and fill it for $50. At about 8,000 miles, we took the Genesis in for its first service, which consisted of an oil change and a multi-point inspection. The tires weren't rotated, but no abnormal wear was noted. That service set us back $48, which sounds not bad until you realize that the G90 comes with complimentary scheduled maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles. Our employee wasn't aware of the plan when he was handed the invoice, and the people at the suburban Detroit Hyundai dealership, who said this was only the second Genesis they'd serviced, apparently hadn't gotten the memo from corporate. Around the 5,000-mile mark, a couple of drivers complained that the right front edge of the sunroof was not fully sealing, causing excessive wind noise. But such notes and the noise ceased within 100 miles, leading us to believe that some debris may have been lodged in the seal. View 75 photos, where we went after the G90 survived a trial by fire of sorts by completing a pair of epic southbound journeys within days of its arrival, on which we reported in the car's introduction. Editor-in-Chief Eddie Alterman turned its nose north and headed for Mackinac City, Michigan, in July. Since then, the G90 has been spending some quality time at our home base, largely traversing the Ann Arbor-Detroit-Toledo axis of power. With the holiday season on the horizon, however, we expect the spacious, easy-driving G90 to start knocking down miles at a fevered pitch. In retrospect, it's only logical that we eventually would find ourselves behind the wheel of a nearly $70,000 Hyundai. Loosely following the blueprint used by the trio of Japanese manufacturers that launched upscale divisions in the late 20th century, Hyundai's newly minted Genesis is meant to put a little space between its upmarket offerings and the value-oriented fare it built its name on. Morphing the model name of its Hyundai Genesis coupe and sedan into a standalone brand also creates a place in which to move loyal customers as their income and tastes permit more upscale pursuits. With the G90 standing as the new brand's top offering, we secured one for a 40,000-mile long-term test. Hyundai has a reputation for tilting the feature content to price ratio in favor of the consumer, and its upscale Genesis division follows that formula. If you get a kick out of optioning a vehicle to the $100,000 mark, turn your attention elsewhere. For a segment reasonable $69,050 base price, our G90 includes all the modern conveniences and then some: Nappa leather upholstered, heated and cooled, multi-adjustable front seats, 22-way driver, 16-way passenger, a leather-covered dash, steering wheel, and door panels with real wood accents, acoustic laminated glass, rear side window and backlight sunshades, a head-up display, adaptive cruise control with stop-and-go capability, a 12.3-inch infotainment screen, and a 17-speaker Lexicon audio system, just to name the highlights. The only way to inflate the G90 premium sticker is to add $2,500 for Hyundai's HTRAC all-wheel drive. Or one can step up to the ultimate trim, which costs an additional $1,600 and replaces the premium's 365-horsepower twin-turbo 3.3-liter V6 with a 420-horsepower naturally aspirated 5.0-liter V8 and again offers all-wheel drive for $2,500. While $1,600 for 55 ponies may seem like a bargain, the grunt portion of the deal isn't as convincing. Whereas all 376 pounds-feet of the turbo V6's torque is on the job as soon as 1,300 RPM, the V8's 383 pounds-feet don't punch in fully until 5,000 RPM. Matched with an 8-speed automatic transmission, our V6 G90 seems to have hit the sweet spot. Early logbook entries agree that the combo pulls hard, shifts precisely, and sounds good doing so. Our initial assessments of the G90's powertrain were confirmed at the test track, where it laid down a respectable 5.2 seconds 0 to 60 miles per hour time and scooted to the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds. Braking from 70 miles per hour consumed 182 feet. As for rolling stock, our Patagonia Blue G90 arrived sporting a quartet of hefty-looking 19-inch chrome aluminum wheels wrapped in Continental Conti for contact tires. The multi-link front and rear suspensions utilize adaptive dampers, with mixed results. While the ride is supple, the handling and body movements can get a bit sloppy. We can think of several competitors that better manage the ride handling comfort equation, although the G90 never pretends to be anything but a competent luxury barge. Daily driver. Considering the G90's cavernous and well-appointed interior, it's only natural that the car would get the nod from those with a lot of highway miles to cover. Less than a week after arriving, the G90 was pressed into service to transport staffers to Virginia International Raceway for our annual lighting lap competition. Barely 2 weeks after its return, Associate Online editor Joseph Caparella climbed behind the wheel for a run to North Carolina, reporting an indicated 27 miles per gallon for portions of the trip. In between highway jaunts, the G90's enormous backseat, which is wide enough for 3 people, even if they aren't particularly friendly, makes it a top choice for lunch runs. Our overall fuel economy to date is 23 miles per gallon, which falls on the sweet side of its 20 miles per gallon combined EPA rating. Although we have accumulated fewer than 5,000 miles at this point, we are encouraged by the G90's rock-solid reliability, coddling interior, and hushed ride. We'll see how this story develops over the next 35,000 miles.